everyone, and welcome to another Public Domania stream. How's everyone doing? Hoping your week's going well so far. Today I wanted to do something chill. I'm feeling a little tired today and sore, but I still wanted to hang out, so I figured today we'd do another Public Domania. Today the movie we're watching together is George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, the zombie chiller that kicked off the genre that's so popular. So yeah, should be fun. We actually haven't watched this one together, I don't think, which is surprising. We've watched most of the big public domain horrors that have been out. But yeah, should be fun. I don't know how many of you have seen this or not seen this, but it is basically the first modern zombie movie. They call them ghouls in the movie, but it has become known as the movie that sort of started the zombie craze. Now, zombies of a sort existed in film prior to this. They were the voodoo zombies. They existed in movies like Bela Lugosi's White Zombie. I know Val Lewton did a film, I think it was called I Walked with a Zombie. Again, those are voodoo zombies, though. Quite a bit different. Then Romero came around and did this kind of mishmash where it has elements kind of the voodoo zombie, but mostly it's borrowing from sort of ghouls, right? Creatures that eat corpses, that eat people. So yeah, should be good. This film fell into the public domain immediately upon its release because they fucked up. They forgot to put the copyright date on the film print, so as soon as this movie went to theaters, it fell directly into the public domain. Over the years, George A. Romero and some of his business partners have tried to recoup some of their losses from that. They've done colorizations of Night of the Living Dead. They've done cartoon versions where they take like the original audio and then they animate it, and then of course those are under copyright. But yeah, they fucked up. They made one of the most popular horror movies of all time immediately free to the public, which probably helped its legacy. So good on them for that. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into it. We'll have some fun. This is in the public domain, so it should be fine. You know how YouTube's kind of weird, though, so if anything fucks up on YouTube, jump over to Twitch. Alright, let's go. Ghouls were grave robbers, body snatchers during the 1800s. In folklore, ghouls not only robbed graves, but they ate from them, and it made them, like, fucked up. That comes up in the movie Mr. Sardonicus, which I would also recommend. That's a really fun William Castle film. Let me get that hydrate command. I'll throw on subtitles. I know a lot of people like subtitles for stuff. Is Jason zombie adjacent? I would say yes, but only for certain after part 4. After part 4. It's questionable before then. After part 3, it's fair to say he's into zombie territory. After he gets struck by lightning in part 6 and comes to life, definitely a zombie. 110% a zombie. Is 1931 Dracula public domain? Would love to watch with you if it happens. Not yet. It will be in 2027. Yes, on January 1st, 2027, all films from 1931 will be in the public domain. So on Public Domain Day, or shortly after, in 2027, we're going to do a double feature of Todd Browning's Dracula and James Whale's Frankenstein, because I love those movies. Oh, real quick, Bumble Homestead with a 5-stream streak says Spirit Halloween has possessed the empty shell of Joanne's here. That's good. Probably smells better than a Joanne's. John Russo, I think, went on to work on Return of the Living Dead, which famously introduced the concept of zombies eating brains, specifically. Green guy with a $3 tip says, I'm making meatballs with tomatoes from the garden and ricotta cheese to make it creamy. That sounds great. I love meatballs. I wish I had some meatballs. I did get rid of some meatballs. I didn't want those to eat, though. I never understand flag. Well, okay, if they're veterans, I guess I get it. I was gonna say, death is a weird time to be patriotic.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, no, that she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here, John, all right?
I don't mean to be this person, but you could just say you put the thing there. She wouldn't know. You don't have a cell phone. She's not going to ask for a picture.
Test. Back on? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problem.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
I always like the black and white photography in this. I know that it was probably a cost-saving measure, and also it's just easier to, like, light for black and white than it is for color. But I would also like to point out that Night of the Living Dead ends up being a really good demarcation between sort of classic horror of, like, the 30s to here, the late 60s, and then everything after it. It just makes a really interesting middle point. Like, shortly after this, the MPAA became a thing and movies started getting ratings, so the entire landscape changed. Hey, Trey.
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep on the time change.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
H-Bear, thanks for 56 months.
I wonder what happened to the one
to get
from
into
last
this
year.
field.
Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish, you can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
Oh god, Didn't they reshoot some scenes for the color version and they got the zombie back?
Hey, I mean, praying's for church, huh?
But he's like 40 years older.
Come on.
That was a bad choice.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
Well, you're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
Good time to pause to read this. Janerdy with 265 stream streak is the guy with the glasses kind of reminds me of Stephen Merchant. Random comment, but I couldn't think of anything funny to say about zombies.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it.
You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Just unfortunate. What bad timing for your joke.
Oh! No! No! Johnny! Help
I want to point out too, considering that, like, and I know that from these movies we do see them lumbering quite slowly later, but for one of the early zombie movie of this kind of zombie, this zombie's fighting a lot faster than you would normally consider, I think, the classic shambling zombie. Like, he's, like, throwing him around relatively quick, and I know it's just because it's early and we haven't really set the rules yet, but, you know, you wouldn't necessarily expect it. Wasn't the only zombie movie before this, White Zombie. There was Val Lewton's I Walked with a Zombie. I think there were a few others, but they were all voodoo zombie movies, which are quite different. Look up zombie movies. I'll let you know. Looks like there was also a movie from 1941 called King of the Zombies. Oh yeah, Voodoo Man. I have Voodoo Man. That's another Lugosi film that involves zombies. So there were a few. 1957 had Voodoo Woman, which also involved zombies. Again, of the voodoo variety. It's the first movie to have zombies of this kind. Like, this kind of zombie where it is corpses, where it is the dead that have risen from their graves and crave human flesh, and that zombieism is communicable via their bite. That is from this movie. This movie invented this kind of zombie. It's sort of a combination of voodoo zombies and ghouls. Also, tool use. I guess I haven't really thought about that either. The zombies using tools. That's not typical for what you see in some of the later Romero zombie movies, both later in this film and in, like, Dawn of the Dead. You don't start to see intelligence from the zombies again until, like, Day of the Dead with, The chained up zombie, Bubba? What's his name? I forget his name. That's also kind of a big point of Day of the Dead. Bub? Is it Bub? Yeah, VC Archives did unfortunately get her channel suspended, I think playing episodes of The Twilight Zone, which is risky. That's very risky. Luckily, this is in the public domain. Setsu says, fun fact, the human flesh in this movie was roasted ham covered in chocolate sauce. That makes sense. Chocolate sauce has been a stand-in for blood in a variety of black and white films, including Psycho in the shower scene. Hello, Mr. Duck Sauce. How's it going? Quentin Tarantino direct this? Where are shoes? Sorry. Chuds would complain and call it woke. Of course they would. The main characters are like a woman and a black guy. Who will be introduced shortly. And this was the 60s. You didn't typically have, like, male leads that were people of color. This is only a year after In the Heat of the Night. Which is another good movie, by the way. Sidney Poitier. They call me Mr. Tibbs. need to express that that's incredibly graphic for the time. Like, a lot of this stuff we're gonna see in this movie, and some of it you're gonna be like, oh, that's gross. But, like, you need to understand that given the context of the time this came out, that's incredibly graphic. Like, movies did not show blood. They did not show gore. That was not a thing that they did, like, ever. This is incredibly graphic for the time. Tom Savini was still a boy! I did label this on Twitch as having gore, so it should be fine. I think there's 1 or 2 shots of butts or something from the zombies. That should also be fine because it's within the context of an artistic work. So that should be fine. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a real skull, because back then they had no rules. In Poltergeist, the skeletons in the pool at the end are real skeletons, because getting teaching skeletons was cheaper than getting plastic ones.
It's all right.
All butts are artistic. If all butts are art, then mine is Dada, in that it's pretty disturbing and you don't quite know what you're looking at.
Don't worry about him, I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key? Suppose you tried this.
Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, you talk about so many old movies I haven't seen. My movie palette is Spartacus and Westerns. That's so funny, because those are 2 genres I don't really have a lot of, I don't have a lot of experience watching. Like, Sand and Sandals, epics. A lot of Cecil B. DeMille's work. A lot of his biblical epics. And other stuff like that I haven't really seen, and Westerns. Like, I've seen some of the big ones, I've seen some of the spaghetti Westerns and stuff, but those are actually, like, the 2 genres, Sand and Sandal stuff, Westerns, and Noir. Just, those are the 3 genres that I'm just not particularly into. What do I think of Hot Fuzz? I think it's hilarious. The whole Cornetto trilogy's great. I did see they're making a new Deathstalker. I think Shudder's involved, so I'll remain optimistic. Shudder's pretty good these days. They make pretty fun B-movies.
Do you live here?
Have I suffered through the legendary disaster western of Heaven's Gate? I've not.
Jesus. We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
This is kind of random, but I know we were talking about Frankenstein earlier. I'm so excited for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Like, unironically, I think that's gonna be great. I fucking love Frankenstein movies. Has anyone seen the 90s remake of Night of the Living Dead? Am I crazy, or did Tom Savini direct the 90s Night of the Living Dead? Am I crazy? Was that one of his few directorial...
What's happening?
I know it's coming out in 4K soon.
What's happening?
He did direct that. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I remember not liking it as much as the original. I didn't hate it, but I remember the whole time being like, I don't know, it's just missing something.
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
Green guy says my sauce and meatballs are bomb as fuck. I don't need to hear about your ball sauce, sir.
You're afraid, but we have to...
Oh, that's good. That sounds great. I want meatballs now. Oh, no! Someone bring me meatballs.
I don't know what's happening. Oh.
Pat Coleman and Tony Todd are the stars. I like Tony Todd. I just think a lot of this movie's vibe, a lot of this movie's, like, strengths lie in the creepy tone, and I think the black and white's a big part of it. So I think when you do it in color, it misses some of it. It gives it sort of the gravitas of, like, an old 30s film. It feels like a classic chiller. Like the detail of like so many zombie things, even today people will just pull something out of a zombie's head like it's nothing, but it feels like there's actually resistance, like he has to tug because it's like stuck in the skull. So good. You've never seen George Romero's Martin? It's good. I have, I'm not gonna go get it because I'm not supposed to be bending over and getting up a lot, so I won't grab it, but I have a really nice special edition Martin. Martin is George Romero's, we'll call it a vampire movie. It's more about a kid who believes he's a vampire, so, like, he's not a supernatural vampire, but because of his belief that he's a vampire, he goes out and he kills women and drinks their blood. Great movie. I love that movie. I like Romero, but his zombie movies have never been my favorite. I'm just not the biggest fan of zombies generally. Now, don't get me wrong. I love his zombie movies, at least the first three. I could kind of take or leave Diary and Land of the Dead. But zombies as a genre, not my favorite. I think I've told you guys before. I don't have to bend for this. It's right here. My favorite Romero movie is Monkey Shines. I'm a big fan of animal attack movies, and this is just one of the best ones that's ever been made. Romero's a great director, and his zombie movies are excellent. Of course they are. But I'm telling you, Monkey Shines. Watch that shit. Nick Cage, I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire. Yeah, vampires kiss. Good. Apparently the whole genre of people who think they're vampires. That's a good genre of movie. think my favorite line from Vampire's Kiss is when he's complaining about the inability to file in alphabetical order, and he's just like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P! And he just goes through the whole alphabet. So zombie anime is not my favorite? No. No, it's not. You went to see Monkey Shines when you were 8? You shouldn't show an 8-year-old Monkey Shines. Just for the record. I do not condone showing people under 13 years old Monkey Shines. Just because I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 9 doesn't make me a hypocrite. It just makes me inconsistent.
They know we're in here now. Don't look at it.
Did I watch it intentionally, or did an adult let me? Both? It was on HBO. Actually, I watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street I watched was Freddy's Dead, which is probably a good one for a kid to start with, because it's very silly, and there's like Looney Tunes homage bits. But directly after that, I got into the whole series by renting them at the video store, and my parents had to rent them for me, so... My parents were very strange in that they were afraid that I was into horror and thought I was going to be a serial killer, but also they continued to rent them for me. I don't understand those people. I'm glad I'm not in any sort of relationship with them anymore. They're very, very weird people.
Get some more lights on in this house.
You don't understand where he came from. He's also seeking shelter. He also found this house and is just trying to stay away from the zombies.
Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God damn! Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now,
Innocuous Blonde says, I'm literally trying to find good horror to show my 13-year-old who likes spooky things. The horror I watched growing up was mostly things edited for TV, but that's tougher to find these days. There are a great deal of, like, PG-13 horror films these days. A lot of stuff from the 80s. I'd argue even some of the R-rated stuff. Some of it. I'm thinking, like, Lost Boys, because I think Lost Boys might be rated R. Let me look. Was Lost Boys rated R, or was it PG-13? either way, like, I think there's a lot of decent PG-13 horror out there, and some of the lighter R stuff from, like, the 80s could be good. Like, unless I'm misremembering something from Lost Boys, is there a scene I'm misremembering that would make it incredibly inappropriate for a 13-year-old? That's pretty fun. Monster Squad is like a fun, like, horror comedy thing. That's pretty good, and a decent introduction to the Universal monsters. I wouldn't say Alien for a 13-year-old. It depends on the 13-year-old, in fairness. I think Alien for a 13-year-old would be really boring, if I'm being honest, these days. Like, don't get me wrong, maybe they'd enjoy it, but I think a 13-year-old would sit down, and the first hour of Alien would just bore them to fucking death. Like, I'm more concerned about that than them being too scared, to be honest. Is Brendan Fraser's The Mummy horror? It is a remake of the Universal 1930s Mummy movie, so you could argue it's more in the action genre, but there are horror elements, so... I'd have to think about it, but there's a decent amount. Maybe the original Scream's pretty gory. The sex scenes in that aren't too bad, though. They're very implied. I don't even think you see boobs in that movie, so that one's not too bad. So maybe the original Scream. How bad is the original Child's Play in terms of gore? I don't think that one's too bad either. Gremlins. Gremlins is a really good one.
I'm gonna board up the windows
Yeah, maybe Fright Night. Fright Night's fun.
and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all
Could probably watch the original Children of the Corn.
right here until
Though, again, I don't know how interested in that a kid would be.
someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I
Jaws.
want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay?
Poltergeist. Poltergeist. Perfect PG-13 horror. That's got some, like, Amblin, Steven Spielberg schmaltz in there, too, and it ends on a high note, you know? Like, a lot of horror movies end very depressingly. Poltergeist doesn't, so that's a good one, too. The recent Five Nights at Freddy's movie wasn't my favorite movie, but like a 13-year-old might like it, especially if they've seen the or played the Five Nights at Freddy's games or anything. Said Jaws, but your husband said no. That's interesting. I don't think that would be... If anything, again, I think the problem would be they might be bored with the first 45 minutes or so. But you guys are the parents, so up to you. One Who Reads subscribes 6 months in advance. Thank you very much. Says, subscribe if you can, gift a sub if you can, tip off twitch.tv. Wow, you used your subscription message to tell people to subscribe? That's very nice of you. Thank you. Oh yeah, maybe some Alfred Hitchcock movies. Maybe not... You could watch Psycho at 13. The ending would require some explanation, given its antiquity, its antiquated nature, maybe. The Birds, though. The Birds would probably be good. '1930 30s horror, Frankenstein, Dracula. Those are good too. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for gifting a sub to Spokane Dog Man, almost kicking off a hype train.
That's strong. Yeah, I want you to cut some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. Yeah, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors.
That's the best review of the birds I've ever read. Too much screaming, not enough birds. Put that on the fucking DVD. Too much screaming, not enough birds.
Won't be long for those things to be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out.
Hitchcock's only scary if you watch it where it's filmed and get dive bombed on the way home. See, to me, a horror movie doesn't have to be scary to be good. I'm not scared by any horror movie, virtually. There's probably a couple that have disturbed me. But, like, it just has to be a good movie. It doesn't have to be scary. Most movies aren't scary.
Beekman's.
Abominable Dr. Phibes was always a fun horror watch. Yeah, kind of a precursor to Saw. Good stuff. Builds traps or tests to try and kill the surgeons that he finds responsible for the death of his wife. They're based off the 10 Plagues of Egypt. Pretty decent. Sequel's not as good.
Steiner.
Goes to Egypt to try and bring his wife back from the dead. Really undercuts the great ending of the first one.
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first.
Green guy says, the zombies let them barricade themselves in. What are they, stupid? I guess they don't have very many brains. No? Okay, sorry.
I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped.
It's not horror, but Antonio Banderas' The Skin I Live In is fucked up. I love that movie. I wish they'd re-release it on Blu-ray, because it's incredibly expensive to get now. It's out of print. I've talked about this before. The Skin I Live In is the highest budget force femme fan fiction I've ever seen. And it's great. No, it's actually a really good movie, though. I'm a little sus of the director, but still, great movie.
Stop moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man.
What do you mean, what? Just watch the movie.
Screaming. thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. That was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except... By now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move, they didn't run or just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery, Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it."
You're ignorant.
And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, "Goody." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed.
How about you stop? Could you stop? Just stop.
"Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!" And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran.
Is this what therapy sessions are like? The good ones?
And he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We had to wait for Johnny. Maybe we better go out and get him.
Ma'am,
We have to go out and get
he's
Johnny.
dead. He's very
He's
dead.
out there.
No.
Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him.
Bittergrin says, "I recognize she's traumatized, but this is why I prefer the 1990 Barbara. If you don't like women screaming in ways that are annoying, do not watch The Invisible Man." I love The Invisible Man. Maybe my favorite Universal horror movie. But holy crap, the lady in that screams so much.
Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No!
My brother is not dead! Oh. Oh.
All right, nap time. Is this is this still like a therapy session? I repeat, the good ones.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which
Oh,
is
another good PG-13 horror, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's a pretty good one.
even now developing, this radio station
Tremors.
will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds
The Gate. That stars kids, too.
of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason.
You
for
love
the
Killer
slaying.
Clowns?
It
That's
seems to be
good.
a sudden
The Chiodo brothers did the Killer Clowns. Ernest Scared Stupid. That's a horror comedy, but that might be another good one. They reuse the Killer Clown suits and repaint them to be goblins or trolls or something.
general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being
Mr. Blast says, as a responsible parent, I have to tell you not to let your kids watch the movie Tremors at a very young age. It did traumatize my wife. However, she's doing great now, so I think it worked out. Troll 2, the greatest horror film of all time.
there is no really authentic way for us to say who
We don't spit on hospitality in this family. I won't allow it.
or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment, but that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from officials...
What year did this come out? I think it was 68.
...to stay
Yep,
in their
68.
homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere.
Fire
The
bad.
safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you
How flammable was the furniture back
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the president has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and joint chiefs behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
The president is on record saying we won't have as many zombies if we stop counting them. More at 11!
And this latest bulletin meeting members of his cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and scientists from NASA within the hour. All radio and TV stations from this part of the country, including the one to which you're listening, have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain or, even at this hour, even to theorize about the reasons for this raven murder. So far, the advice they're able to give the public is summary reports of Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, who's quoted as saying, quote, "Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here." End quote. Police Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only description...
The cigarettes were the real monster.
...come from frightened witnesses of some of the slayings. These eyewitness accounts variously describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people, misshapen monsters, people who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near Gulfport, Louisiana. Since then, reports of such senseless killings began snowballing in a reign of terror which has hopscotched in an erratic, disconnected manner throughout much of the eastern and midwestern United States. Efforts to keep track of the murder reports by the placing of markers on a map seem to indicate a general spreading from the extreme southeastern United States to the north and west. Our newsmen have been on the telephone talking with officials in other cities and have determined that none of this kind of mass murder has yet been reported west of the Mississippi.
Rick M says, who was the body at the top of the stairs in this movie? I guess I just assumed it was one of the owners of the house.
River, except in the extreme southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like...
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh, and
when it
these.
first became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion...
This place is boarded up pretty solid now.
...in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here for a while.
dramatically, it was soon apparent that
We have
this
the
was
gun
something
and
more than the
bullets.
usual run of lawlessness.
Food and the radio.
Some began to suspect an obscure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone
Things as
bound to come and get us out.
creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautions of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me,
Goes on in the absence of any law.
but I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it.
savage killers. We repeat, this radio station...
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Consistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill. And so this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you, reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
The scariest monster of all, a generic 60s white man.
We're from town.
City,
A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of murder by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there?
Just a peach says, fire retardant fabric didn't come out till the late 70s and early 80s, so very flammable.
I could use some help up here.
And by the way, earlier I knew he had lighter fluid on it. I was making a joke that didn't land.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Well, if there were more...
The racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this...
Look, mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now,
Okay, how about you go in the cellar and we stay up
you
here?
tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. Kids hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that stuff downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy, you know that? You got 1,000,000 windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect.
And then you're cornered.
Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here.
Good
if we have
rebuttal.
to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside.
Noises.
But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. Maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide, because I'm gonna...
He's got a personality straight out of 12 Angry Men. Bella Lugosi, thanks for 31 months, says, were any of these actors in anything after this? The guy playing Mr. Cooper is memorable as hell. I actually don't know. I know the main guy only did like one other thing that I've not seen. I'm not sure about the others.
Board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision.
Orion with a $5 super chat says, I have the zombicide version of this game based on the movie, and it's fun seeing what happens if their plans had actually worked. Oh, I've not played that game.
Now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
You box yourself in the cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
It's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
It's all right.
That's something that I think later zombie movies lose a little bit. They start going towards, and this is like immediately after this movie, because I know this movie, especially coming up, has some like gore. They start going for gore factor zombies as opposed to just eeriness of the zombies. And shots like this, I think, go to show how in this movie, a lot of the effectiveness of the zombies isn't necessarily the gore, though that is great. It's the ceaselessness of their endeavor. It's almost like the first Terminator movie. It's that idea that there's nothing you can say, you can't negotiate with them, you can't stop them. Like, you can shoot them and shoot them. They don't feel pain. There's nothing you can do. They're just going to come after you. And of course, we know now, you shoot them in the head and it kills them. But it feels in this moment that there's just nothing you can do. They're just invincible. There's this ceaseless, cold, dead thing coming for you. And that's creepy. The nudity's okay in this context, both on YouTube and Twitch.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in that damn cellar. Get out of here!
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else is up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly, I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid. That old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
Oh, so she can come up.
Gonna let them get hurt too, huh? It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
Okay, it's his girlfriend. Sorry.
If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all three of us were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid. He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
This radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's
Bela says it's pretty fun that the cellar ultimately is the best option, but it didn't matter anyways. I think the cellar's a good idea as a fallback option, as your secondary position, but I think the idea of conceding the first floor is insane, because at least if you're on the first floor and they start breaking in, you can take some of them out. You can use the windows as sort of like a mediator for how fast they can get in, and you can be poking them in the brain with sticks, like poke whatever you can find. There's at least a gun. Try to take them out, thin them out, and then when they're through the windows, then you fall back to the basement. I just think it's weird that you fall back to the basement at this point, and they're still just going to break through the windows, except you're not using any of that time to try and thin them out. You don't have to apologize. I don't know why you're apologizing like I'm mad at you. I'm just giving my opinion on this fictional scenario. It's fine.
put it up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
I'm sorry if I sounded mad.
They want to stay up there, let them.
You're fine, Bela. The movie's over 50 years old. You're fine.
There are
I think everyone knows where this is going.
2 other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper! Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for... We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper! Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set
Sorry, I needed to go back to look at something.
Let's go up.
Okay, yeah, the scene doesn't break the 180-degree rule necessarily because she is currently on the right and he's on the left, but she came from the left and she was on the right. And my brain was like, what's going on? It feels like something's... Oh, okay.
Tom? Yeah. If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away. Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
Okay, open up.
I'll take good care of her, Helen. She's all I have. Why don't you go upstairs now?
Her brother was killed.
Sorry, just her complete mental collapse is funny to me. Because it's so uncommon in horror movies today for a character to just, like, completely shut down. It feels borderline comical. I know it's not. I know she's traumatized and in shock. But it's just, like, it feels like a bit from Scary Movie or something. Like, every time you see her, she's progressively less functional. Some percentage of people would IRL. Oh, I know, I'm one of those people. Fight or flight. I'm the third option. I'm freeze. I get it. Just think it's funny.
I gotta go
I just don't see it in movies a lot.
help Ben with the television.
ADD, thanks for following. I get it when you say it, ADD. Barb is meant to be younger than the actress looks? How young, do you know? Because I didn't know that. That makes sense, though. Filterless cigarettes.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there.
You just said it, there was loose parts. Do you want it to be more covered or less covered? Pick a lane.
How much good these windows are.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's a socket over here.
I'll be honest, the TV's smaller than I thought it would be for 68. Like, I thought it would be a big cabinet thing. You can actually pick that one up.
You better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
I appreciate that this movie from the start kind of established the trope that within zombie media, sure, the zombies are the setting and the zombies are a threat, but the bigger threat often ends up coming from the interpersonal conflicts of human beings that disagree with each other in crisis situations. It's a staple that sticks around for basically every zombie movie.
There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
It reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up! In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. The medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured.
White Zombie predates this, as does Val Lewton's I Walked with a Zombie and several others, but those were voodoo zombies, which is different. I have my copy of White Zombie, but I can't pick it up because I had surgery and it makes me sad, but just know I have White Zombie.
I think we have some late word just arriving, and
these are undead. They are undead. They also call them ghouls, but they end up becoming called zombies. They're never called zombies in the movie, but nonetheless, they're clearly zombies as we know them today. And by the time you get around to Dawn of the Dead, they're calling them zombies, so...
This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
They're not. I'm not going to argue about whether or not the most famous zombie movie of all time is a zombie movie. That's crazy. Like, I understand the movie itself doesn't call them that, but culturally, in the real world, they have come to be known as zombies. Romero never once wanted to call them that and said so. It doesn't matter. He put the art out into the world. It exists. And then he made several sequels. Dawn, Day, Land, Diary of the Dead, which all use zombie.
Widespread investigation of reports from...
Do they really not use zombie in Day or Dawn of the Dead? I never noticed that, if that's the case, unironically.
Homes,
either way, they're
culturally,
culturally, everyone calls them zombies, so it doesn't really matter.
Has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to
I'll
life
die on this hill,
human
ADD.
victims.
I will.
It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
If everyone calls them zombies, they're zombies. Like, it straight up doesn't matter. It's like how the Frankenstein monster ended up being called Frankenstein, even though he's not technically Frankenstein. It doesn't matter if he's the Frankenstein monster. If everyone calls him Frankenstein, he's Frankenstein. That's life.
When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized...
He wanted a name he could copyright? That's really funny, considering they forgot the copyright notice on the movie.
to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earth-bound emergency? So far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus.
Farms often have their own gas pumps. I imagine it would depend on the size of the farm. I could certainly see it, because if you have like tractors and stuff, you don't want to have to go and take the tractor to a gas station. So you hire a gas company and you have a big tank and they come and fill your tank every month or two, and then you just fill up your tractors and stuff from home.
Satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here.
Well, that's not very nice, ADD. I was just having fun with you, but that's okay.
That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump? Look!
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes.
Keyboard says, like how every cotton swab is a Q-tip and every reanimated decomposing ranking is a Ted Cruz.
That was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. A definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
logical explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen.
This seems to be...
I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
And Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between
definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
An unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply for the
later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report,
yes.
a more full report. Will you close the window?
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
We've heard all we need to know. We have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get care in there, we could get help for her.
No, world's foremost authorities on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic complications?
Look, you go down there and tell Judy. Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't done anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard. I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
No, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh, and dangerous.
Well, at least he's being tactful about it. They're just dead flesh. Burn the fuckers.
I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make
Feels like
volatile
that guy was just like waiting to shit on the idea of funerals. Like, he hated funerals before the zombie thing happened. He's like, finally, I can call people idiots for liking funerals.
cocktails and hold them up while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. Better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
You're it, then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
No place to flee for safety, except to the rescue station, which have been set up. Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time?
The other writer went on to make Return of the Living Dead. I think Return of the Living Dead, and I like Night of the Living Dead fine, and Dawn and Day. Return of the Living Dead might be my favorite zombie movie. I love Return of the Living Dead. The idea that they're eating brains because they are in so much chronic pain from the rot, and the brains are the only thing that give them any, like, comfort. Incredible. Incredibly creepy.
How many do we have done?
Also, the effects in that movie are just great. So.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom? Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah, from what I understand,
Well,
Russo just owns the Of the Living Dead part. Or, no, wait. Dawn, day, night. Which part does he own? Maybe it's Of the Living Dead is what he owns. He owns some part of the IP that Romero couldn't use. They both own separate parts of the IP.
Vision said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now. But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey.
Am I feeling better? Better than I was the other day.
It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, aren't you? We've got work to do, honey. And you
really are just a useless piece of shit. See,
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs
Thanks,
now,
Ashley,
Barbara.
1-up for the clarification.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That window's not boarded up at all. I know, second floor. But what if there's a really tall zombie or someone dies wearing stilts?
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss 'em.
That was pretty close to the house. I think maybe you want to get a little more distance on the Molotovs. Okay. Fire bad.
Go ahead, go on.
I'm going with them.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
Where's you coming? Come on. Get in.
Head. Shoot them in the head. They're like 3 feet away. Zombies are more flammable back then. It's all the rampant alcoholism. Everyone would just go up. Like, in this one shot, it went from, like, clearly daytime. Like, look at how... I know, it's a low-budget independent film. Looking like not quite the Night of the Living Dead in this shot. Looking like the Dawn of the Dead. But okay, you do you. Actually, I've noticed a mistake in this film that's going to outlive me by centuries. Aren't I very smart? Actually, day for Night of the Living Dead. Fuck! How did I miss that one? Shit!
Come on. This key won't work. Watch it.
Watch the torch.
You gotta get away from the pump. Hang on.
Now, turn your cars and get out of the truck.
Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's caught.
Could you have at least driven into the zombies before you exploded? Thanks a lot. Zombies really slowed down after the guy at the beginning. I actually have a headcanon for that, because he actually is in this crowd now, and he's slowed down too. They were in the cemetery. So, in my head, that zombie was recently buried, and like, he was a little springier. He was a little more lively, because he'd been dead less. But as the day has gone on, he was freshly buried. He's like stiffening up. As they rot, they get a little slower. At least that's my headcanon. Someone showed... It's so weird to bring up that someone left and called me rude for calling the zombie movie a zombie movie. What the fuck was up with that? Because, like, it's one thing to come in and be like, oh, did you know that George Romero didn't like them being called zombies for blah, blah, blah. That's interesting. That's interesting. But, like, to be mad at me for calling them zombies when they're universally referred to as zombies is like, bonkers. You know?
I'll drag you out there and feed you those things.
Like, was the only acceptable answer for me to give them just like, wow, you're incredibly smart and know so much about movies, thank you? Like, was that the expected response? I don't know. Now I want ham.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Well, we'd better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
Mongos Informatica says, I do think it's unfortunate how totally this trope has overshadowed folkloric zombies, but words' meanings come from their use after all. And I wouldn't even mind if the person came from it from that angle and they were like, hey, we should stop using zombie to refer to these and instead, you know, start using undead or something, because it's like, you know, kind of overshadowed the original usage of this. Like, I don't know if I'd totally agree, but I'd get it. You know, I'd be like, oh, fair point, you know? But I think they were just mad. They just wanted to be like, actually. And I don't get that. You can, like, talk about movies and be like, hey, actually, this thing is this. And not be mad. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 20 Tier 1 subs. Very, very appreciative of your generosity.
You say those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it?
And it's not about me being wrong either. You guys know, you guys tell me I'm wrong all the time, and I'll be like, oh, thank you for correcting me. That's fine. I just don't understand whatever the fuck that shit was.
Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it.
I'm wrong. Very true, Jay's a proxy. Very true. Just a Peach says, I now watched a few movies that I would never watch without your streams, including this one. Oh, nice. Hope you enjoy it. Peep Lord with 214 bits says, thank you, because I've had super bad times since about a year ago this week. Your show in the community really kept me going. I had to leave the military in April and use ChatGPT to write my VA claim for my record. I'm glad to say I got 100% disability, plus a couple of other things. It was literally the tipping point for the direction of my life now that I'm pulling my house back off the market. The VA details why they make all their decisions per line item. GPT is a wrong bitch. Well, I'm glad that the community's helped in some way. I'm glad to have you as a part of it. Rick M with 100 bits says, movie idea, Attack of the Vegan Zombies. It's kind of troll, too, except they're trolls instead of zombies, and they turn people into plants and eat them. So that's kind of that. 83% to level 5 on a hype train.
It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
Yeah, I thought I said troll, too. Did I not?
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Sorry if I misspoke.
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Good Lord.
Just straight up looks like she's eating chicken.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just returned from covering such a search and desist operation against the ghouls, this one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All
Shoot
law
them
enforcement
in the
agencies
head.
and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
What do you think from the supply wagon, Cuss?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, I got you.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get...
I really think the guy that played this Chief McClellan does a great job of coming off as, how do I put this? You can tell he's a good old boy hick. And, like, he's off murdering zombies, but you are immediately, I think, at least I am, put off by him as well, and his whole affect and how excited he seems to be to murder the zombies, how blasé he is. It's a good performance for how little he's actually on screen. I just wanted to highlight that.
The situation under control.
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
30 seconds on the hype train.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report.
Thanks for the hype train, everyone.
Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as they have rate.
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
But 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window.
Zombie using a tool. Wait a minute, the guy who's been a coward this whole time is a coward? I'm shocked!
Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get the cellar. Get the cellar now. Move!
Good thing there's nothing important downstairs. I love the zombie kid. Yay! Yes!
Oh, baby.
Do you think when he did Diary of the Dead, George Romero was like, okay, I already did a zombie kid, how can I one-up this? And that's when he came up with the zombie baby? Just a thought. I don't know. I'm really trying to rack my brain about why he thought the zombie baby was a good choice. Yeah, a woman like has zombieism and she's dead, and then she has a zombie baby. Was the zombie baby in Diary? I think so. It was the found footage one, right? That's Diary, I think. It's the Dawn remake, not Diary. Are you sure? Is there a zombie baby in both? I gotta look this up now. Thinking of the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's my fault. I don't like the zombie baby. I guess I can blame James Gunn for that one? And Zack Snyder? I'm coming to get you, Barbara. Remember me? I was at the beginning of the movie. Zombie apocalypse, that's your best bet. Get bit by a zombie, but try and remain as intact as possible. I'll be a zombie, but I don't want to be one of those shock zombies that, like, is crawling around with like one arm or something because they've been all eaten up while they were still alive. I want to be as intact as a zombie as possible, so I'll just get like a little nibble or something and then wait for it to set in, and then I'll have way more friends than I've ever had before. So that's fun.
You want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Right.
You still here, Bill?
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers. You're doing all the work. You take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, let's check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve. Tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
Down there by the barn. Okay. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
He's the dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
I'm genuinely surprised by how many of you haven't seen this.
Nothing down here? All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house. There's something there. I heard a noise. All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Yeah, the people who called that, good call.
Directly ahead. Over. Keep those dogs back off of those things.
Wonder how many innocent people the militia have taken out, and that's the question it makes you ask. That's good. That's a good movie that makes you question. Fucked up! Humans are the real monsters. We get it. So, that's Night of the Living Dead. The first sort of ghoul zombie movie. Hey, James. Not my first day back, but first week. So, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. I appreciate watching the movie with me. Tomorrow I will be back with, I think we're going to cover the Sovereign Citizen Convention. They posted the last day of that finally, so we'll probably cover that tomorrow. So that'll be good. So I'll see you then. Let's see who we're going to raid. Yeah, no problem.
Enemy in the game.
Alright, have a great... Oh, no, I just raided Granny. What's Zachary Mike doing? Oh, yeah. Alright. See you tomorrow, everyone. Have a great evening. And, look out for zombies or racist cops. Probably more likely to run into the second one. Have a good night, everyone.